Teleport. Chapter 22. Your name's POV. I laid on the ground when I heard movement around me. I ignored it, thinking it was Miss Daniels. It didn't actually leave me. What happened? I heard a soft, masculine voice. I looked up at the masked face of Spider-Man. I gasped. I was afraid that they might be one of the people from my school that might actually be bullies or something. They could reveal my secret of being an orphan, or they might not care for me knowing that it's me. I tried to scoot away, but I couldn't because I was already against the wall. Whoa, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm here to help, he said to me. I stayed silent, but still shook my head no. Thing is, because it's not exactly human, or fully human I guess, I can heal, a little quicker than the average human, but the wounds still leave marks. No matter what it was, whether it would be a paper cut or a broken bone, it would always leave some kind of mark, so my ribs were always starting to heal. Your name, calm down, Spider-Man said to me. My head snapped out to look at him. He knew my name, meaning he has to be from school. Okay, where's your first aid kit? He asked. Before I answered, I glanced around me, seeing my cloak under my bed, which I'm right next to my bed. I get an idea. I look over to the bathroom. Under the sink, I say in a tiny voice. He nods and walks over. Once I know he's in the bathroom and can't see me, I quickly grab my cloak and open a portal underneath me so I was automatically teleported to the helicarrier. Before anyone could see my face, I threw on my cloak aside as I leaned against the wall so I could heal. Peter's POV. I grabbed the first aid kit and walked back into Your Name's room. I stopped. Your Name was no longer there. I looked all over the room and outside, and Your Name was nowhere to be seen. What the heck? I questioned. Escaped. Chapter 23. Your Name's POV. As I leaned against the wall and let my ribs heal, Colston approached me. Agent last name? He asked. I looked up at him. He saw the pain in my expression. He quickly kneeled down next to me. Oh my gosh, what happened? He asked. I explained to him what I went back to the orphanage with Peter, exhorting me, then getting yelled at by Mrs. Daniels. I told him that she hit me, but I didn't go into detail. I included the Spider-Man experience. So you ran? He asked, after I was done explaining. Sorta ran. More like say they made an escape portal, I said, which was with a slight laugh. Though my laugh was cut short from the pain in my ribs. I wrapped my arms around my torso in pain. He glanced down at my movement. What happened? He asked, giving me a little look that said, Tell me now and don't lie. I sighed. Mrs. Daniel kicked me in the ribs a couple of times, I said quietly. One loud enough for me and Colson to hear. He looked like he was about to explode in anger. I'm just gonna rest here, I mumbled and closed my eyes tiredly. He nodded and walked away. Time skip. I soon woke up from my small nap. I opened my eyes and was met with a face close to mine, staring at me. I gasped and tried to back away, but again my back was already against the wall. I analysed the face and realised it was Spider-Man. I sucked in a breath. Hey, are you okay? He asked me. I nod my head, not speaking. He nods. Okay, I was just making sure. You looked pretty tired and sort of in pain, even though I didn't see your face and all. He just started to ramble. I didn't really listen. I was just glad that he didn't see my face. I slowly stood up. My ribs were pretty much healed and I could get up without too much pain. I slightly winced but tried to hide it. I failed. Are you sure you're okay? He asked. I nodded and walked inside. I soon found Colson. I walked up to him. Hey, I'm gonna head back home, I told him. He nodded. Be careful, he added. I nodded. I will, I say, and create a portal. I barely had enough energy to do that, but I managed. Once I walked through, I collapsed on my bed and instantly fell asleep. Chapter 24. Thank you. Your Name's POV. I woke up suddenly from my nap, my phone ringing. I scrambled to my phone and quickly pulled it to my ear. Hello? I asked tiredly. Hey, Your Name, I hear Peter say. Hi, Peter. I agree. So, I was wondering if you'd want to come over, he asked. Sure, I say. What time? I add. Noon, he answers. I nod, forgetting he couldn't see me. Oh, yeah, sure, I say and hung up. I quickly get up and take a shower, brush my hair and brush my teeth, and do the rest of the morning routine. I glance over the clock and see that it's 11:30. Half an hour, I mumble to myself. I spend the next 20 minutes doing something you enjoy inside. I look at the clock again. I read 11:50. I grabbed my stuff and walked down the stairs, carefully not to run into Mrs. Daniels. I left the orphanage and walked down the road towards Peter's house. Time skip. I knocked on Peter's door. It was soon opened by Aunt May. Hello, dear. Peter is up in his room. Go along, she said with a smile, and I opened the door wider, welcoming me in. Thanks, I reply, and as I walk up to Peter's room, I knock on his bedroom door. I hear faint come in. I enter. Hey, Peter, I say as I enter and gently close the door behind me. Hi, your name, he greets with a smile. I walk over and sit on his desk chair as he sits on his bed. So, what did you want to do? I ask. We can study for the next exam. My smile drops and I groan. He laughs. Time skip. I sighed as I slammed the algebra brick closed. Finally, I sigh. Peter laughs and side hugs me. I wince. He gives me a worried look. He slightly pokes my side to wince again. Your name, what happened? He asked. His facial expression showed the worry that he was confused and worried, but in his eyes, it looks like he already knew. It's nothing, it's just a bruise, I said hurriedly. Show me, he demanded. I stayed silent. Your name? Show me, he said loudly and forcefully. I flinch because it resembles the tones I get before getting hit. He gives me a worried look and I hesitantly lift my shirt a little bit so I can show him my badly bruised hip. He sucks in his breath. Your name? Are you being abused? He asked. What? No, I say quickly. Tell me the truth, he says forcefully. I sigh and nod. He gets up and leaves his room. He closes the door behind him, leaving me alone. Third person. Peter quickly ran down the stairs and went over to Aunt May. Your name's being abused, he said, getting straight to the point. May sighs and closed the book as she was reading. May changes the way she was sitting on the couch to face him. She finally told you, she says. Peter's eyes widen. What? She already told you? He half yelled. Well, I figured out myself, Aunt May corrected. Why didn't you tell me? Peter asked. She didn't want me to. She wanted to keep it a secret, May explained. Why didn't you do anything? Peter asked. Your name didn't want me to. She wanted to do something on her own, Aunt May explained with a kind face. I want you to adopt her, Peter finally says. Aunt May looks at Peter with wide eyes. I don't want her to get hurt anymore. I want you to adopt her, but not necessarily as your daughter, but just to take her away from there. Be her guardian. She can live here, Peter pleads. Peter, I think that's the best idea you've ever had, Aunt May says, as she leaves the room to call to make the adoption. Peter ran back up to his room and he opens the door. Your name, we're adopting you, he says plainly. Your name looked at him with wide eyes. What? She stutters. Aunt May's going to become your legal guardian. You're going to leave that wretched place and live here with us, Peter explains with a smile. Your name covered her mouth with her hands in shock and tears flowed down her cheeks. She suddenly stood up and threw her arms around Peter in a hug. Peter returned the hug. Peter, thank you, thank you, thank you, your name repeated with tears of joy. Through a Portal, Chapter 25. I stayed in Peter's house with Peter while we waited for Aunt May to come back from the orphanage. Thank you so much, Peter, I kept repeating. He laughed. It's no problem, he said. I'm just so happy to leave the orphanage, I said with a smile. An actual genuine smile. Then something dawned on me. It's going to be much harder to hide my power. I mentally groaned. Then my phone rang. I picked up and answered. Agent last name? We need you here, Colson said. Yes, sir. I'll be there soon, I said and hung up. Bye, Peter. I need to go to work, I said. Wait, are you still working at the office? He asked. I shook my head. I didn't really enjoy working there. I now work, at someplace you would like working. I lied. He nodded. I left the house and walked through the portal to the helicarrier. I pulled my hood on and walked up to Coulson. You needed me? I asked happily. Yeah, there's a couple of agents I had to go to the base halfway across the world, he says. Okay, I say as he leads me to the agents. What's got you so happy? He asks with a smile. Oh, nothing. Just my best friend got his aunt to adopt me. Not to be her daughter, but so she's my legal guardian, I say with a smile. He pats my back. Congratulations, he says with a smile. We walked up to the agents. I recognised some of them when my eyes landed on a particular Spider-Man. I opened portals for the agents, and it was Spider-Man's turn. He told me the place he needed to be, and with that, and it wasn't halfway across the world, it was still New York. I turned to Coulson. I thought you said they were halfway across the world, I asked. I did, but then he came and requested that place. I didn't know he needed to be there, Coulson said. I turned to Spider-Man. Okay, I don't need to be there. I just want to know what it feels like to go through a portal, he asked. He said, laughing. He sounded really familiar. I done for today? I asked Coulson, in which he nodded. I opened a portal to the alley near Peter's house. I quickly walked through and closed it before anyone could see where I was going before they could walk through.